So this is Ramble and Reflect, and so we're gonna talk and talk and talk, and then we're gonna reflect on some things. I want to start this off by introducing you. So Riley Harshman, a lot of you guys know him as Harsh Customs on the internet, Trail Coins, and now your newer venture, which we'll get into. And so I think that what's really cool about this is you're not one of my buddies that I grew up with. We're more colleagues turned to like friends and kind of doing things off-roading, and that's where I'll start. Who are you to the people that would be listening and watching?
Like I said, Riley Harshman. I've been in the Navy almost 20 years now. So I've developed a lot of friendships and relationships through that. But another big part of my life is, off-roading and exploring and stuff like that with vehicles. And so I have this whole huge network of really close friends and people that, I really care about and they care about me that are not Navy. Right. So it's really awesome to have this like supporting group in the Navy that I've been around, and then this whole other group that I'm a part of, and I, love, the off-road industry, and I love being a part of that. And so I have like, this group and I have this group. And so it's so cool to have two different groups that I'm, actively engaged in.
Before I said something about 60 on 68. Nobody off the ship or out of the Navy, even in our little spot, really knows what that is. But that's kind of something that you and me, I bounced the idea off you, and I just ran with it. And then, I got hurt and stuff, and now I'm doing this, and it's kind of like tied to the same. It's interesting because that is similar to this in the sense of how it's set up and how I want to do it and what the reasoning is. But there's differences. Obviously, we're out in the middle of nowhere right now, no service, no nothing. And I think what's really cool and why there's the Jeep in the background, which is yours, is because that's what you like to do. And so you're Navy, and you're also, you go off-roading, but you also have a family. There's a whole bunch of things that I want to kind of dive into.
Yeah, absolutely.
And so one of them is why the Navy? Like where did that come, and why?
Yeah, so I grew up in Oregon my entire life, Central Oregon, class of 25 kids. K through third grade, I was in this small town called Wamak, no stoplights, single street. My mom was my teacher for several of those years.
Holy cow. And
then the school shut down. So school shut down, and then I had to be bused 20 miles to a new school, mopping. And then I did, 4th through 8th grade there, still only having about 25 kids in my class. Like small school. We played 8-man football.
Oh my gosh.
Right? And so, played 8-man football, but I was a quarterback, but I was also outside linebacker. And I also played special teams.
Gotcha.
So you're playing the entire game. Right? But growing up in Oregon and growing up in that type of environment, loved it. Looking back on it, it was like the greatest thing because we were so close. Me and my classmates. But every sport, because I was big into football, big into baseball and basketball, and I had always envisioned myself, once we got to high school, going to state, playing state, basketball. Because we had a very good basketball team all growing up. We go undefeated every year. And so, but then we had to move.
Dang.
Which was rough.
Right?
Because it was I grew up with these kids, and I had these ideas, and then unfortunately we had to move to Washington. Dad had worked there. Dad had worked construction his whole life, and Dad is my stepdad. He's been there since I was 4. I've never met my real father. So, but he's been there since I was 4. I consider him my dad. Everything he's taught me, I appreciate. But we moved to Moses Lake, where the bulk of his family is. And I go to high school now. This high school has 380 kids in my graduating class.
25,
25 to 380, right? So that was super lonely.
And what age was that? That was what?
Freshman. So I showed up 2 weeks before high school started. Right? And those were some of my loneliest times, especially that freshman year. Because I remember eating lunch in the locker room. But eventually I figured out people were playing basketball during lunch and stuff like that, and so I go play basketball, and eventually I made friends. Right?
Of course.
But those first few months were tough. anyways, high school gets better. I play basketball, get into some sports and stuff like that. I get into speech and debate, which is not something I ever imagined because I hated giving speeches in front of class. But I got into speech and debate, which was eye-opening, and I had a lot of fun with it.
Yeah.
And I did that my junior and senior year. I actually lettered in speech and debate. That's the only thing I lettered in.
Interesting. Okay.
But so to get kind of back to your question, why the Navy is because Navy is first to call.
Okay.
Right. I remember my senior year, actually no, junior year. I think in social studies, some class. Navy recruiter comes in and they kind of give their spiel, whatever, and then they hand out cards to everybody.
Of course, yeah.
And it has hey, are you interested? Phone number.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
Right. Not really thinking about it, but.
Yeah.
And so, I get a phone call one day. Hey, I see that you signed, this is pay officer so-and-so, blah, blah, blah. I see that you signed this, would you be interested in coming down and taking a test?
Okay.
And I was like, okay.
Yeah.
I always knew that I was just going to join the military. It was just something I felt inside.
Yeah.
My grandfather was in the Air Force, and then I had a cousin, that was in the Navy, he's a submariner, and then I had another cousin that was in the National Guard. So, I had military in my family, but we weren't a military family, right?
That, yeah.
But we couldn't afford for me to go to school.
Gotcha.
That wasn't an option.
Yeah.
And I knew that, I understood that.
Yeah.
And so I wasn't going to put that pressure on my parents.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
Yeah. And I kind of decided I was going to join the Navy at the end of my junior year, which was nice because I went into DEP. And then the entire senior year was stress-free.
Yeah.
Because I wasn't worried about scholarships,
Yeah.
Applications, grants, the rest of my friends were that, where I had those plans.
Yeah.
And so it was actually kind of nice.
It's almost like you had a scholarship for sports, but
exactly.
for the Navy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly. So I just knew I was going to join the military because I couldn't fund school. Yeah. I also didn't know what I wanted grew up, and I don't know what I want to do when I grow up either now.
Yeah. Yeah.
But the Navy called, and I was like, sure. And I took a test, and they're like, hey, you scored really well. You could be a nuke.
Yeah.
Right? What's that?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And the recruiter, I don't even know what rate he was, but he had been in the Navy 10 years and never been to sea, right?
Oh, wow. Okay. Where can I sign for that?
Yeah, right? That's my sister right there.
Yeah.
But the recruiter didn't really know much.
Yeah.
And so I go to MEPS, and I take the real ASVAB, and they're like, yeah, you scored well enough. You could be a nuclear operator, right? And I can offer you the world.
Yeah,
and I remember the dude saying that, I can offer you the world, you
Yeah.
know, all this money and bonuses and stuff like that. And I'm like, wow, that sounds pretty cool, you know, being a junior, going into senior, yeah, let's do it. But then as time goes on, I'm like, boy, I didn't know what the job was.
Yeah.
I signed for it.
Yeah.
And I said, yeah, I'll do that.
Because it sounds, everybody's making it so cool. They're like, oh, this is the world. You're gonna get money and all this stuff.
And so I signed up, but then months go by and I was like, man, I don't know what this job is. What did I sign up for? And then I went and I was like, hey, I want to change jobs. And they're like, no.
Yeah,
no
chance.
I'm like, well, I'm not going to go to boot camp. I want to change. And they're like, no. Right? Because what I didn't know was nukes are the most valuable people to enlist into the Navy.
Yeah.
Right? Those recruiters get awards, NAMs, if you didn't know, if they meet their nuke bonus.
Oh, nice.
Right?
Yeah.
Right? Of how many nukes they enlisted into the military, right?
So the minute they see that score, they're like, you're going nuke.
We're
going to see everything that you can.
That's the priority, is to bring in, nuclear operators into the Navy, right? So I didn't know that. Yeah. And they were like, it's not an option. And I was like, well, I'm not going to boot camp, right? And so we kind of go hem and haw about that, and then they're like, okay, well, the only thing you can change to is a master at arms, or I think there was a gas turbine mechanic, and then a cook.
Gotcha.
Right?
Super fun stuff.
Yeah, super fun.
Yeah.
None of that really sounded appealing.
Yeah.
But they end up having this chief from Seattle come over.
Yeah.
And he was the nuke recruiter for Washington.
Yeah, so he knew more about.
He was an actual nuke.
Yeah.
Right. So he comes over because they couldn't explain anything to me.
Yeah.
Right. My recruiters, what the job entailed and whatever. And so he comes over, and I remember this scary looking dude. He was in his whites and bald head and just looked like a badass.
Yeah.
But he was a chief, and he was a nuke. mechanic,
Yeah.
like me. And he sat me down, explained the whole job. And I was like, oh, okay. So like,
Sounds kind of cool.
Sounds kind of cool. And
Yeah.
actually, you know, I'm into mechanic type things.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, fixing stuff and whatever. So like, okay, maybe this is something. Okay,
This is the first, like you were like, and then now you're here and you're like, maybe, okay, this is actually, he's kind of scary. That's, you know,
Yeah.
I think as kids, I think you kind of lean towards the things that are like where the badass stuff is. And I'm sure that was kind of like a, okay, maybe this is actually not just for like smart people, but for cool people, maybe a little bit as well.
Yeah. So then that was it. Like, graduated high school and spent like maybe a month at home, and then I was at boot camp July 11th, 2006.
Jeez.
So date myself a little bit.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, joined the Navy and boom.
Gotcha.
Now I'm a machinist mate, you know,
Yeah.
in the Navy.
Yeah. So I think for me, I'm just going to tie mine in there a little bit. I watched like Jag growing up, and that kind of dates my grandpa, I think. We watched like every Jag, and you know, I think that's what I grew up on. And then I think people kind of get this weird notion for the military and stuff. It's like for like tough and you know, like manly men, you know, like because you see like David Goggins or like Jocko or all these guys that are like special forces, and they're like the hardest of the hard, and all these things. And I'm sure there's harder branches, maybe, I don't know, but that's what you see. And like, I remember as a kid, I would watch like the war movies and stuff, and even before like the big war movies, I was like, I want to be a Navy SEAL, you know, or like a pilot or something, you know, and in those and in life, people don't realize that like even the cool shit is like there's a lot of like brain power that gets put into that, and studying and learning and all this education. And when I signed up, I was in, like I said, necessity. It was like something that I needed to lock myself in. Basically, like I'm signing myself up for prison. Like basically, I didn't realize how much of that was going to be true when I got to the ship. But I was just doing it because I had to. And then I look around and I see a lot of kids like you, you know. And when you were just coming out of high school, those are the guys that I saw. And when I went to boot camp, I think that was the hardest thing, because it was like everyone was little kids, and there was like some 40-year-olds or whatever. I guess they signed some cool waivers, but a lot of them were just super young, and that was the hardest part, was like the maturity. And I think that was the hardest part when I finally got to the ship, and that's kind of tying into how I met you. We both kind of got to the ship at the same time. Well, you got back to the ship, but I just, my first ship, you know, and that was the Nimitz, and which is a carrier for people that don't know what that is. And a carrier is the biggest ship in the Navy, the ones that the planes go shooting off and stuff. And you know, that's the one that you see on like TikTok where you like don't touch the big ships, you know. But for me, I was kind of separate. I was an MM, you're an MMN, right? And again, I'm trying to put this in English, but it's a mechanic. You're a mechanic, and you just happen to go to 2 years of schooling that kind of teaches you a language, basically, and like the fundamentals. Myself, I went to like 30 days of like
here's a wrench.
Art school, like, you know. And then they're like, okay, if you get picked for the nuclear stuff, just find a rope, basically. No, like, I'm not trying to be like insensitive, but basically, I mean, they said that, you know. And so then when we get there, again, these are all kids and stuff, and we get there, and there's like 5 of us from A school that like got sent to the same ship, same division, which was the reactor. So we get flown to San Diego. I moved from Florida to Washington. Then we get flown to San Diego, and with our fucking sea bag, and which is just full of random shit. Nobody told us what we really need. There's like, pack your undies, basically. And that was it. And it was like, bam, now you're in this, you know. And then you get to the ship, and I don't even know. They're supposed to be sponsors, supposed to be organized. Nobody seems to stay organized. Everything in the Navy makes the easiest thing the hardest. And so we get there, and there's like 5 of us, like I said, and we're like, okay, we're going to A gang, you know. That's what we know from A school. And A gang's like the normal route for a regular mechanic. And that's like you're doing like AC, like refrigerant,
hydraulics,
getting dirty,
and
whatever.
elevators. And,
None of the stuff I really wanted to do. But again, I just picked the job because that was the best one that I had.
Yep.
And I just needed to sign myself up to not be able to quit.
Yep.
So I get there, a bunch of kids, and we get to the ship, and nobody knows our names. Nobody knows. We're not on any lists. Nobody knows anything. And finally, we get taken to our berthing. And I'm looking around, and I'm like, that guy's name tag just said reactor. So I asked him, I was like, is this, like, are we in the wrong place? He's like, no. You got pulled over here.
Yeah.
And I was like, fuck. And so for like a week or so, I had like a pissing contest in my head of like, fuck, this sucks. Wah, right? But then you realize that you can't really change it.
Yeah.
And from there, it's like this whole new thing. And like I said, it's like signing up for prison. Because the food sucks.
Yeah.
The people are immature, and you're living in this tiny space. And I don't know, when I first got there, it was just Ice Spice playing in the background every day, all day on the TV. And you had these guys that are like, I was 27, I think, when I first joined.
Yeah.
And so it's like, these guys are 21, if that, and they're like telling me like, get the fuck out of berthing and stuff, and get the fuck out of here, like, and telling me that I'm a piece of shit.
It's
and,
a
like,
culture shock.
It's like so strange, and one part of you is like, fuck you,
Yeah.
and the other part of you is like trying to respect how things are,
Yeah.
and these people, and it takes you a second to learn that maybe they're misguided, maybe things are fucked up, and for me, I'm very solutions based, and so I want to fix shit. If things are fucked up, I want to fix them. Jumping to then when I met you, I was still in this training section of the reactor, which is just where you study to get these qualifications that make you allowed to then do your actual job, which though they seem to never end. And so, again, that's when we met, and you are way higher ranking than me, and so you are a leader. And I really didn't know that when I first met you. I just noticed people were talking to you a little bit differently, and you got to not have to like listen to these guys that were telling us what to do and telling us that we're idiots and shit.
Yeah.
And so I was like, okay, that's interesting. But everybody else like talked to you really strangely, like they were like nervous and stuff. And for me, I don't care. I respect who I need to respect, and that's everybody. And then if you're an asshole, then you're an asshole, and I'm gonna just, hey, I know that you can fuck my life up in some way or another, so I'm not gonna be disrespectful to you, but I'm just not going to play that game. So it's like, talk to you normal. And I think that's when we started talking about, the Navy stuff, and you helped me learn a lot of things. And then it was like somebody that wasn't super immature. And then I was like, that was refreshing. And so for me, it was like, okay, this is a little bit better now, But then I also know that there's these like weird things, and I understand there's like levels and rules and all these things. So it's like kind of like sketchy to like not be friends, but just to be friendly.
Yeah.
So it's just weird. But I understand why they're there. So in those times where you're transitioning, you're still kind of, you've been on the ship before multiple times. Even this one you've been on multiple times. So you're back. You're having to get maybe requalled or learn some things or whatever to get yourself back proficient. Yep. And then here you are. You're now the boss of this entire division that you happen to be the same division that I was going into. And so it was just like, oh, interesting. And then I was like really interested to see how you were going to lead. Yeah. And I didn't get to fully get that chance to see how that happened because I didn't get to go on deployment. So I got to see a lot. And so I think that's something also where I was like, this guy is not just, I've noticed a lot of the chiefs and a lot of the leadership lacks leadership and lacks maturity. And I understand why, again, because they're surrounded and they grew up in this, you started and you're still in the Navy now and you're an adult. And so you just were surrounded by basically high school energy, and it just is this cycle of that immaturity. And so it's just easy to just stay in that spot. But again, you have a family. And so I think, I don't know, how long have you been married?
Let's see. God, we just had our wedding anniversary. I think 18 years?
All right, I'm getting you in trouble. Okay.
18 years?
Yeah.
Yes.
Hopefully 18 years.
18, 2008.
So
Math.
about the time that people can be in the Navy now. So that's a long time.
Yep.
So it's just interesting. How do you think that you and your wife have like kind of balanced that? And I would like to know kind of for people that are maybe in the Navy or maybe just new in marriage. I'm not saying that you're an expert on marriage or something, but 18 years means something.
Yeah, like everything comes from experience, right? Yeah. You rarely go into something knowing any of the answers, right? And it's a trial by fire. It's, figuring it out. And I've figured out a lot of stuff, over the years. But I think what helped Lacey and I in the beginning was that, so we're high school sweethearts.
Okay.
And so we were together, and then I went to boot camp, right? Which, separated us by 3 months.
Yeah.
And then when I left boot camp, I immediately went to A school, which is another 3 months. So we spent, 6-7 months apart.
Gotcha.
And then that right there, and then I would come home on leave for about a week and a half, 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Try to spend all my time with all the people that I had to spend time with, which is always a pain because it was like, obviously I want to spend time with her, but then I want to spend time with my family, but then I've got friends, that want to see me. And so it was always a pain coming home because it was trying to split up your time, right? But then I would go away for 6 months again, go to another school, come back for 2 weeks, and then go away for another 6 months.
Yeah.
And so she lived in Washington that entire time that I was going through school in South Carolina.
Gotcha.
So what that allowed us to do was really develop a relationship that was long distance.
Gotcha.
So since we could survive through a long distance relationship, we could survive through the Navy.
Yeah.
Right? Because I ended up proposing to her after prototype.
Yeah.
And then, after power school.
Which is just another school.
It's school number 2, 6 months long.
Yeah.
Right? And so I proposed, and then I went back to school, left her alone for 6 months. I would just send some money, because we had to pay for our wedding ourselves. And so I'd send some money home and whatever. She'd work on the wedding stuff. And then I graduated from prototype, and then I drove from South Carolina with my mom all the way to Washington.
Dang.
Got married.
Yeah.
Right. And then we immediately packed up all the stuff that we owned, which was literally nothing.
Yeah.
And then drove from Washington straight to San Diego.
Yeah.
Got an apartment, and then a week and a half later, I was gone for 3 months. So I drop her off in San Diego, figure it out, and then I'm on the ship for a 3-month deployment. So I think we're able to be apart and survive.
Yeah.
Now, a huge part of that to make that work is communication.
Yeah.
You've got to talk. What's great about Carrier is I could call every day, but that's expensive, and it's a pain because there's a delay on the phone.
Yeah.
Back in the day when we had pay phones, right? Back in 2008.
Those things that carry dust now.
Yep.
Yeah.
That nobody uses. Yeah. So pay phones, you had to buy a phone card, and then when you actually got the phone to work, there'd be a 1 or 2 second delay.
It was like boot camp.
Yeah, very hard to hold a conversation because there was a delay. But I can email every day.
Yeah.
Right? And so it always was a priority was to email every day, and I always looked forward to her emails. And I'm the worst person at emails because on the ship, every day is the same.
Yeah. Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
I got up.
It's horrible.
I stood watch. Yeah. I did some maintenance.
It's just a job, but you're just on a boat.
Yeah, I went, had some crappy food.
Yep.
Went to the gym.
Yeah.
Went to sleep. Got up, stood watch again. Right?
Yeah.
It's just the same stuff every day, and I'm not going to go into detail. So I always look forward. I always made it a point if I got up, check my email before watch, or as soon as I got off watch.
Yeah.
Check my email because I always look forward to her emails, and she would write a page and a half email. Yeah. About the most random things. Yeah. But I enjoyed every second of it.
Yeah, definitely.
But my emails would be 3 sentences long.
Yeah.
And eventually she got after me.
Yeah.
but because I just didn't have anything to write about.
Yeah.
But I think that's the big thing is communicating and being able to be a part for the Navy.
Yeah.
Right? To be independent enough that you guys can survive. And I've seen that throughout the years where I've seen people immediately get married after high school or immediately get married after boot camp, and they've never been apart, and they immediately get to the ship and they go on a deployment.
It's like,
and either them or the spouse cannot handle the separation. And so I always try to like tell people that are in those relationships, like that are thinking about it. I'm like, all right, man, I know you want to do this. But like a good test to do is like go on this underway, this month-long underway, 3-week underway, right? Do these things, make sure you communicate every single day. Right? But see how it goes. You know, test that relationship, because if you can't do it, it's not going to work.
No, and I think that a thing that maybe you haven't thought about either is like the change in how you grew up compared to this. It's like I grew up and I didn't have a phone, and then I got a phone when I was like 12. You know, and that's kind of when phones were kind of becoming a thing.
I got a Razor phone in high school. That was my first phone.
And so it was just like, it was just like these like keyboards and all this stuff, and so like, and then social media and all these things, and so it's just like instantaneous like responses, and like when somebody read something and all these different things, and then you get to the ship and it's like, why can I not send an email? Or like maybe it's the first time you've ever sent an email. And you're like, I don't even know how to do this thing. I've sent emails. I have an AOL account still. But a lot of these guys, like I said, were like 18. And so you're talking about a lot of these guys are real young, and so are their wives. And so they're not really testing the waters. They're just diving in. And it's really interesting. But it's cool to see that you can still be in a relationship in these types of situations. And so it's really interesting. And then you started to have kids. Like, did something change when that happened, or was it harder? Because I can't imagine. For me, I can't imagine having to leave then. And I don't have kids or anything, but just leaving in general sucks.
Yeah, it always sucks. But I think okay. So our first child didn't go full term.
Okay.
It was an ectopic pregnancy, so the child, it had to be aborted, essentially. The roughest part was I was underway for that.
Jesus
and
Christ.
She had to 100% deal with that by herself. Like, that killed me. We were underway. It was stationed in San Diego at the time, so was that happened. We were so excited, because we were trying for a child, and then
of course,
boom, gets pregnant, and then hey, it's not gonna work. Right. And so that was hard to like deal with. And then I didn't know at the time. I didn't even think it was an option to like go up to my chief and be like, hey, so this is happening in my life. Can I get out of this underway? Because I think the underway was like a week or 2 weeks. It wasn't a deployment. It was just an underway. Hey, this is going on in my family right now. Can I be home to support? I didn't even think that was an option.
You just thought you were stuck.
I didn't even bring it up to my chief.
Jesus,
that like this was going on. Right. And so I've been fortunate enough now to where I'm at, where people have gone through situations exactly like that. And I know that I can take care of them. And we've gotten people off the ship for, underway to take care of something they need to be there for.
I think that's huge. And we were talking about like your leadership and kind of your past and how you became like who you are right now and in the Navy and everything, because you're still in the Navy right now, which is a long time, and that's your whole career. And so you really haven't done anything besides high school in the Navy, in the sense of like career, right?
True.
And so that's like something where I kind of like am teetering of like, is a bad thing, is a good thing, is a bad thing, is a good thing. But it's super interesting, and I think it doesn't matter because everybody is so independently like driven, and they just have these, every single person, no matter what, even if they're like going through the same scenarios, can come out of it differently. And so I've talked to, master chiefs and officers, and they are still as if they were they're in an adult body, but they're 18 years old still, which is super interesting. And then you have people that are, you know, have no rank and they're like a fireman recruit, you know, and they're very mature.
Yeah.
But even myself, I find myself to be pretty mature, I think. And I've had previous jobs and all these things.
And I think that's the big part of it is experience, right? And that's usually, you know, runs with that maturity that you see in people, especially because you can always tell when, you know, someone joins the Navy and they come to work for you.
Yeah.
And you can always tell if they've held jobs before the Navy.
Yeah.
Because there is a maturity ness about them.
Yeah, there's like a giveaway.
Right, and it's easy. You can tell the people that, you know, got out of high school, did nothing in high school, right, and were babied the entire time, and then joined the military because they didn't even think about anything past their diploma.
Yeah.
Right, and so then they realize, oh, I got to do something.
Yeah.
Hey, join the Navy. Okay, right, and they go do it, and then they have zero work ethic, maturity, you know, that type of stuff.
Yeah.
And I think I'm blessed because I held a lot of jobs.
Okay.
Through high school.
Gotcha. Okay.
I had a lot of different experiences.
Okay.
Different types of bosses and expectations and accountability, like all of this stuff. So I joined the Navy right after high school.
But you had experience
But
prior to that.
I had all these experiences and I had all these great people around me.
Yeah.
That made my life hard.
Yeah.
Right? And it was hard at the moment.
Yeah.
But it really helped later on.
So what do you think that does for you in this sense of now you're in this spot where you're in charge of how many people? Like 75, 100?
It's about 100.
Yeah. And these guys are, I mean, you're in charge of these guys and you're kind of this tie for their leadership, the people above them telling, hey, this is what we're going to be doing, and like telling you what to do. Yeah. Then you're telling them what to do. How do you think that scenario, that maturity, or those experiences from before high school or in high school to then now your career in the Navy, how do you think those tie into how you then treat the guys that you know don't have that maturity or are growing into who they are as young men or young women? And how do you tie that?
So it's really because, you know, I know what I've done and I know what I've been through, right? Mm-hmm. So therefore I can typically see what these people are missing.
Gotcha.
Right? Based on their work ethic, how they carry themselves, conversations, right? You can tell, you know, what is this person missing in life?
Yeah.
Because they've never been held accountable or they've never had strict guidelines or this, that, and the other, right? Things that I've gone through, there's a good chance they haven't gone through it because they're acting this way.
Yeah, I gotcha.
So then it's like, okay, then how do I lead that type of person? Yeah. Right?
And all these other ones. It's not like you can just focus on one person. It's like you got 100 people to deal with.
Yep. And I think the one thing about leadership that I've noticed is like you have to be flexible. Yeah. Like there is not one style of leadership that works for everybody. Yeah. Right. Some people, you can just have a simple conversation with them. Like if they're screwing up, you can just have a simple conversation. Yeah. And they'll be like, oh, damn it, I'm screwing up. You know, I'm, letting senior chief down or whatever, and then they'll just go fix themselves. Right. Yeah. Some people need to be yelled at. Yeah. Right. They need to be scared. Yeah. Some people need to be humiliated. Yeah. That's a harder one to do. But there's every person, some people need disappointed dad, like different flavors to motivate people to do what they need to do. Yeah. And so you can't just be that one hit wonder where you yell at everybody. Yeah. Right? Yeah. It doesn't matter. Like there's some people that are like that. They hit anything that comes at them in a negative way. It's
aggression, bam.
Aggression back, right? Yeah. And that works with some, but it doesn't work with a lot. And especially with people nowadays, young sailors nowadays.
How's the change, like in this generation now compared to 5-10 years ago?
Yeah, it has changed quite a bit, and you can't meet them with aggression. Yeah. Because it doesn't faze them.
Yeah, they're just like, fuck you.
Yeah, they just look at you and like, okay. Yeah. Right? And
have you learned that, like, gradually, or was it like one thing that was like, holy shit, like
No,
this is going to be fucking hard?
It seems like every time I come back to the ship.
Yeah.
Right.
You learn something new.
This is the third time I've come back to the ship, and you see the culture change.
Yeah.
Like me growing up, a chief was a scary person.
Yeah.
Right. If chief said something, you did what chief said.
Yeah.
Right. And you didn't question it.
Yeah.
There was no, talk back. There was no, whatever. And it's like chief said, do this. Okay.
Yeah.
Right. And you didn't want to disappoint chief, or you want to stay, under the radar.
Yeah.
Like, because you were scared of this person.
Yeah. Now it's not like that.
And back then, like, we called everyone by their last name.
Gotcha.
Right.
Yeah.
Even our friends in berthing.
Yeah.
Then when I came back to the ship, people were calling each other by their first names. I was like, what is going on?
Yeah.
Like, what? I don't like it.
What happened?
Like, and then I came back this third time, and, the sailors are doing exclusively first names, and then they don't even care what environment they're in, if they're around other khaki, or whatever.
And you're talking about the most recent?
Yeah, the most recent. And then the phones having Wi-Fi on the ship, that's completely...
Oh, God, yeah.
That's crazy to me, because I've never experienced that, and it's a whole new world. And
yeah, I mean, the transition happened when I was on the ship, and it was like, this is awesome, but like, then I started seeing little things that's like...
It's awesome because, I can text Lacey, or, I can post to Instagram from my rack, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
And or look something up or whatever. Yeah. It's super convenient, but sometimes I feel like people need separation.
Yeah, I think that we're out right now. We have no service. Yeah. And I think that is a good thing. Yeah. I think that is a healthy thing. And I don't think people put themselves in that situation, for one. Yeah. And for two, I think the Navy had that as kind of like a positive. Yeah. Especially the Navy compared to other branches and stuff. And so I don't know if I truly like it or if I think it kind of hurt the Navy. But I mean, that's just up for debate in so many ways.
So many ways, yeah. Right? And because I can see, sometimes people are so in tune with what's going on home or the drama at home that's not really, it's not in their lane. It shouldn't be in their lane, but they're making it in their lane because they have so much connectivity. Yeah. Right? That it's affecting them, it's affecting their work. Yeah. But that's what was nice about, back in the day, not having Wi-Fi and only email was like, it allowed you to really not focus or worry about the drama at home. And really, it was more focused on your friends in berthing and the job that you had to do. Yeah,
you had to build these people, the camaraderie. You had to build these relationships so that you can survive, because everybody needs connection in some way or another, which is really interesting. And it, I don't know, the Navy itself and that whole experience is so interesting, and there should be studies and studies done, because I think there's so much to learn and so much to see. Yeah. And I think it could be done in so many different ways, and maybe the old ways are better, maybe the new ways are better, who knows. But you're kind of coming up to like a turning point in your, like, in this career and stuff. And I want to go that direction in a second. But I want to see, you were talking about, we're talking about these changes of like generations, and every time you come back to the boat, it's kind of different. Yeah. I know a lot of the guys on the ship. I was kind of like in this like weird spot where I was like, I'm seeing your side of things, and I'm getting to talk to you, and I'm putting myself into positions where I get to talk with higher ups and all these different things. But then I have the guys that I live with in berthing and in my tiny rack with 3, 5, 6 other people, and then right next to that is another and another and another, and it just keeps going. And you're hearing all these complaining and all this negative and all this blah blah blah, and get out there, get the fuck, and then you hear Ice Spice in the background playing, and so it's such a weird thing. And so I'm just curious, because like for you're in a whole different sleeping environment, whole different kind of world. You get to eat somewhere nicer, kind of. Mm-hmm. It's better. It's a step up, and that's kind of what people work for. That's a promotion. That's part of promotions. You make more money, you get better things, whatever. And then officers get another whole different thing, right? And it's kind of these like levels, and it's the same thing as in regular work. Promotions, you get to the next spot, maybe a different floor, whatever. These guys, I can relate to a lot of things that they have to say, and but then I can also like have the ability to like no, like, I don't think you're trying to see this side. But at the same time, then I can step back and be like, I'm living in this shithole, and I'm like, I want to see this change too, but I just don't think that the way that you're going about it, or the way that this person's going about it, is the right way. And who am I to say you're fucking wrong, especially being newer to the ship, right? Yeah. And so I'm curious, the problems that we have now, or that the people in the berthing and in the reactor specific area, because it seems to be its own niche area, has it changed the problems, or do you see a repeating problems and they just keep coming up in different ways?
I mean, we'll get through a rough patch. That rough patch will come up with behavior or something, right? But we'll always get through it.
Of course, yeah.
There's going to be, something else is going to come up, and we'll move on to the next problem. But
are they repeating? Like, are they the same ones that you had before you were a chief? Not maybe the same in the same exact format. Obviously, nothing's going to be the same, but like in the same sense.
So there was always problems, right? There was always problems when I was a junior sailor, right? It was always, kicking people out of berthing because they weren't qualified, right? Or the food sucks, or, I'm not getting any sleep, or, it's the same complaints, right? But I think there's kind of a cultural shift a little bit. When I was a junior sailor, we cared more about each other.
Yeah.
And the overall goal of whatever was trying to get accomplished.
You were kind of proud to be still in the Navy.
Exactly. We were proud to be down in the propulsion plant operating. Yeah. Like, we took a lot of pride in being very smart. Yeah. Like, we operated a lot of stuff without procedure. Yeah. Right. And the only way you can operate without a procedure is to know it. Right. Is to be familiar with it and to do it. And so we were always racing each other, starting up or shutting down a main engine or a turbine generator, or, doing something like that. Like, we took pride in how much we knew and what we could do, and, how tough we were or whatever. Yeah. And as a team. But today it's more, everyone's kind of looking out for themselves. Yeah. Which is...
Do you think they're looking out for themselves, or do you think, again, I have it from a different perspective. Yep. And so this doesn't mean that I believe in these things, but I just want to challenge you in the sense of, like, maybe like your view versus theirs. And I might not be doing a good job from their point of view, who knows, but do you think that maybe they're not as selfish as you're saying, and maybe they are just, maybe they're like, their camaraderie is in complaining and how shitty this place is. Yeah. And maybe that's the way that they go about it, and it's you versus them. And you are representing the people above you, and so on and so on and so on. And so they're just like this, like, they're like a rebellion. And like, basically. Yeah. And it's like them being idiots to you, or even to me at times, right? And I've said it to these guys. I've argued with a lot of these guys that I call friends, you know, and I've argued and said, God, what the fuck are you talking about? You know? And like, I've defended you and other leadership, because I'm like, God, I don't think you guys are using common sense here. I think you're just going basically just, you're finding like defense and happiness out of this camaraderie that you're just complaining.
They just love, sometimes they just love to complain,
Yeah, but how do you as a leader then step in and like fix that? Or it's such a hard thing. And so like, how do you do it without losing the grip? Without losing the respect, without losing, and is that stuff important to you?
I think it depends on the scenario, but sometimes like people are so narrow-minded, short-sighted, they don't see the big picture, right? And sometimes I have to do something that's big picture, and they're not going to like it, but it actually benefits them in the end. Yeah,
and so how do you share that with them? Or do you think that is pertinent information to like do it?
So I always try to be as transparent as possible. Yeah. Right. And then also in those times of struggle and hate and discontent or whatever, like, I also like to just let people talk. Yeah. Right. If they're pissed off, let's talk about it. Yeah. Come to the office, right, and pull me aside and chat.
No, I remember doing that, and I remember having the whole division, everybody, all 100 people, go ahead and just argue with each other. And I remember like just sitting there and going,
Yeah.
guys, what the fuck?
Yeah.
So I kind of want to jump away from this in the sense of, like I said, that path that we were going down. And what are you without the Navy? What do you like to do without the Navy? What are your... That's a big question. There's so many questions in this. So let me just give you one. You are close to the end of your career, correct?
Correct.
What is the path that you want to pursue after that? Are you want to be a mechanic? Are you going to be... A lot of these guys are like, oh, data or some sort of something. What do you want to do?
I don't really have like a specific, like, I want to be this.
Yeah.
Right? But I'm also, I don't want to throw away, you know, by the time I'm done with my contract, it'll be 24, 25 years of experience in this field, right?
Yeah.
So I'm not going to throw that away, right? So whatever I do will be something in line with what I'm doing now, but, you know, will that go into be me being a mechanic, you know, being an operator, or I'm, you know, taking orders from somebody above me, some supervisor,
Yeah.
you know, or will I be that supervisor?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Right? I'm totally okay with going somewhere and just being a mechanic.
Yeah.
Being an operator, right?
Yeah.
And then I'm staying in my lane, making sure that I'm doing my job and this, that, and the other, and not have to worry about anybody else. Because, like, I say that's the hardest part about my job now is I have to worry about other people.
In a bigger sense than just a regular supervisor /
Yes. Like the military, it's not just, you know, their job performance. You're concerned about what's going on at home. Are they paying their bills?
The morale and all these things.
You know, everything
Yeah.
you have to be in touch with, right? And anytime something goes wrong,
Yeah.
you know, DUI or, you know, a family member passes away.
Or they decide to smoke some freaking pot or something.
Yeah. You're involved the entire time, right? And
Yeah.
so that is the most taxing part of this job.
Yeah.
So it's like, when I get out, I'd love to do something
where you're not.
I'm not in charge of anybody, right? And
Yeah.
I'm just like doing my own thing.
Yeah.
But who knows? Because, you know, I'm also big into like, I don't ever want to lead somebody if I've never done it.
Gotcha. Okay, yeah.
So I'd be totally cool with going into something, learning the ropes, being the operator, being a mechanic, or doing something. And eventually, you know, I work my way up to some sort of supervisor.
Yeah, of course, but you're not going to be living there or something.
Yeah.
More than likely. So I think that's it's interesting. I think that what's more interesting is why we're sitting in the rain out on the side of a mountain, and I think that's where I want to go next. Is why are we in the rain sitting on the side of the mountain? Why is there a Jeep in the background? Why?
So, talking about my other life?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So obviously, you know, Navy's been a huge part, right?
Yeah.
And I have zero regrets. Like I said, I've been here 20 years. I never planned on 20 years.
Yeah.
You know, I'd live my life one reenlistment at a time. If Vin Diesel was in the Navy, like that's how he'd probably do it too.
Mile, yeah.
Yep. So I never planned on it. Each reenlistment, there was a decision behind it.
Yeah.
And then, you know, I'm here.
Yeah.
Right. And I have zero regrets because, like, what the Navy has provided me, super thankful for.
Yeah.
Because I would not be here. You know, have a family of 3, you know, own a house, you know, and everything else that I do without that, right?
Yeah, 100%.
And all that experience I've gained. So, but this whole other thing, this
hobby, this fun,
this Jeep thing,
right?
Yeah, I just became super passionate in it. Like, I was always kind of a gearhead. Growing up, watching, you know, Spike TV, watching Jesse Combs and Ian Johnson on Extreme 4x4, building stuff, but I wasn't necessarily into 4-wheel drive. I was just into cars, right? Just into cars, right? My buddy, back in when I was in middle school, Brandon Ashley, like, we made racing lawnmowers.
Gotcha. Okay.
They weren't fast, but we painted them blue with white racing stripes and, like, drove around town.
Took the governor off and
like
ripped around,
But, because that was fun, right? And then, you know, getting into high school, I always wanted to have some sort of cool car or whatever, but slowly started, you know, my dad would teach me things about lawnmowers or whatever, but then when we moved to Moses Lake, my grandfather owned a small engine repair shop.
Okay. And it's a little bit more of a taste.
So he would fix lawnmowers,
Yeah.
right? He worked there, my uncle worked there, and my aunt worked there, and my grandma worked there.
Okay.
And so it was always a fun place to go because there's, you know, benches and tools and lawnmowers and engines and just like all this cool stuff.
Yeah, yeah.
And I think I was a sophomore, and one day this farmer brought in this wheel line engine for irrigation, and it wouldn't start. And he dropped off. My grandpa's like, yeah, I'll get to it. You know, he always put the farmers ahead of the line.
Yeah.
Because, you know, they got stuff to do.
Yeah, they got shit to do.
Right? And so I start kind of looking at it, you know, looking at the gas and spark plug and whatever. And so my grandpa just kind of let me do it.
Yeah.
Let me do it. And then he helped me fix it. And I was like, hey, that was fun. And so then my grandpa was like, hey, you know. So every time I went to the shop,
yeah,
hey, why don't you go, you know, do a service on that lawnmower.
Yeah, you were learning.
Yeah. And so then eventually that became my job after school.
Okay.
It sucked that I only worked 2 hours a day.
Yeah.
But I would ride my bike up to the shop, and, you know, I'd be able to get 1 or 2 lawnmowers in, and I loved it. And it's probably one of the greatest jobs I've ever had, honestly.
Gotcha.
Like, you can't make a living off fixing lawnmowers.
Yeah.
Not a very good living.
Yeah.
But the pure enjoyment.
Yeah, you were, that's where you kind of got your mechanical love, which then led you to this big thing behind you.
Because I love the fact that a doctor could drop off his lawnmower and say it doesn't start and I don't know what's going on, and then I could put it on my bench and I could fix it, right, and then give it back to this doctor, right.
Yeah.
So I loved it, like, and then I loved working with my grandpa.
Of course, yeah.
In my family, but you know, I learned so much from him. Every day after school, I'd sit down with his bench, and he'd have a lawnmower working something. Yeah. And he'd ask me about my day, and we'd have a conversation.
Of course, yeah.
And I think what a lot of people didn't know about my grandfather is, like, he used to be a college professor at the University of Idaho.
Oh, wow, that's cool.
Right?
Yeah.
And so he was an educated individual.
Yeah.
But he's sitting at this bench fixing lawnmowers.
Because he loved it.
Yeah, right? Yeah. So learned a lot from him. You know, attention to detail, accountability type stuff like that. Because, like, sometimes I'd feel like I was hot shit, and I would do a job too quickly. Yeah. And it wouldn't work. Yeah. Or the customer would bring back the lawnmower because it wasn't. Yeah,
it's all still screwed up.
Yeah, surging or something like that. And then he'd be like, well, you know, you went too fast on it. You skipped these corners, right? Yeah. And he let me know, and then I always feel bad, you know, and so I'd force myself to slow down and, you know, pay attention. Yeah. So, but yeah, so getting into that love of just thinking how things work and stuff like that, right? And then, you know, I had a truck, and I had to work on that truck, and I rebuilt that engine, and, you know, I just wanted to go fast, and, you know, I wanted a loud truck, and so I just naturally was doing these things. But I didn't get into the Jeep scene probably until 2015. You know, at that point, I'm already like 10, 11 years into the Navy. Yeah. And I was in South Carolina. I was going through a bunch of vehicles too, because I was like bored. I was like fixing them and selling them and fixing them and selling them. Yeah. I went through so many vehicles, but I ended up getting this like 86 Suzuki Samurai. Okay. Little tiny thing. Yeah. And 4-wheel drive, little 31-inch tall tires. And it was I loved it because it was like so simple. Yeah, yeah. It was like plain Jane, simple. And so I fixed it, put some tires on it, and started learning some things about suspension and whatever. Gotcha. Fixed it up, and then I sold it. And then I got a Jeep Cherokee. It was actually a trade, and it was all broke. Nice. And I was just fixing things, and I was like, this is kind of cool. And I went, there was an off-road park, Gulches, South Carolina. Went there, and like, but I'd never been off-roading. Yeah. Never been on a trail. I've never like drove over a rock. No dirt bikes, no four-wheelers, no nothing? I mean, I had a four-wheeler growing up, but that was just like, just out in the field. Yeah, yeah. I wouldn't really call that. And lawnmowers, yeah. Yeah, I really wouldn't call that anything. But it was me and another buddy who had a Jeep, and we went to this off-road park. Yeah. And the owner was there. Nobody was at the park. Yeah. And there was this other dude that just worked there. He was basically like a trail guide. Gotcha. Nothing was going on. Nobody was there. And the trail guy was like, hey, I'll take you guys out. Yeah, sure. Like, we don't know anything. We don't know anything about airing down tires, you know, sway bars, nothing. And he takes us out. And I remember this guy had one arm. one arm,
Yeah.
driving a Jeep TJ manual.
Jesus.
Right.
How's that? I can't even picture that.
So
he's got his toes on the.
Yeah, whatever.
Oh my God.
Right.
Yeah.
And so we're going through the trails, and we're having fun.
Yeah.
And then there's like this steep hill climb, and he just goes right up it. And I was like, oh, I guess I have to follow.
Yeah.
Like I don't want to be a bitch, right?
Yeah.
I go right up, and there was like that adrenaline rush, because it was a big hill, with loose rock and rocks, and I just did that.
Yeah.
Right. So there was like that adrenaline rush of like, wow.
So that was like your intro to like adrenaline in the vehicle, kind of like your moment.
Yep.
Almost. Yeah.
And so like, oh, that was cool.
Yeah.
And then fast forward, I end up trading that Jeep Cherokee for a Jeep YJ, which is a Wrangler.
Gotcha.
Okay.
Yep.
It was a 95 YJ. And I remember getting in this freedom that I felt every time driving it. It's almost hard to describe, because it was this YJ. It had half doors with a soft top, bikini top.
Yeah.
And it was loud.
Yeah.
But you were so open to everything else, because half doors and bikini top.
Yeah, yeah.
The wind blowing in your face, and the Jeep's loud, and it was slow.
Yep.
It was only a 4-cylinder, but
you weren't buying it for speed.
No, it was, nothing but smiles every time I drove that. And it was just like this feeling of freedom.
Yeah.
Whenever I drove that. And it was just in South Carolina, so we weren't doing anything. So I was like I started to get into the customization of that.
Yeah.
But I still didn't know what I was doing, because I wasn't really wheeling it.
Gotcha.
And then there was a time where I was on shift work, and I had to stay up, transition myself from a day shift to a night shift. And so to do that, you stay up all night, force yourself to stay up all night so you can try to sleep through the day to help transition, right?
Yeah.
I go on YouTube, I'm looking at YouTube, and I come across this YouTube channel.
Yeah.
And this YouTube channel shows groups of people going out with Jeeps on these 5-7 day adventures. Nobody knows where they're going except the lead person.
Yeah.
And they're in these big new 4-door Jeeps, right? These 4-door Jeeps, and big 40-inch tires, but they're doing all this epic stuff. They're driving to every trail, right? They're not trailering, they're driving.
Yeah.
Seeing these crazy views, doing these awesome experiences.
Yeah.
And then they're breaking stuff, but they're fixing it, and then the camaraderie is there.
Sweet.
And I really liked the camaraderie that they had. And I was just like, that's what I want to do.
Yeah.
And at that point, they'd already been out a couple of years, and so I just started binge watching all these seasons, because there was 4 or 5 episodes per trip.
Yeah.
So I just started.
Me in Game of Thrones right now.
Yeah, basically, right? And so I just started binge watching, and I was like, this is what I want to do with my life. This adventure is what I want to do.
Yeah. So that was you had the moment, and then you were you just kind of kept going for it, because it was this felt sweet. This is really cool. And I think I can relate to that feeling, because I was I came with you guys for my first run, basically, in the snow with a Ford Ranger. It was a 2021 or something Ford Ranger. It was newer, right? But I was in 4-low the whole time. I don't know shit about shit when it comes to mechanics and stuff. I don't even like getting dirty. I can't call myself a mechanic at all. I am, my title is a mechanic maybe, but I don't like getting dirty, and that's why I work hard to get to the leadership side of things, because I hated it. I'm the guy that I get a little bit of shit on my hand, and I got to go wash my hands, and then I'll come back and I'll do it again. And I'm like, no, you got that. You get that one. You get that one. But I bought a Bronco because I had so much fun with what you guys were doing. And I'm not mechanically inclined. So I bought a fucking Bronco with the Sasquatch package, knowing that I'll be okay. I'm not going to be able to do the shit that you guys get to do, and you guys got your big-ass tires, and you guys were airing down. I didn't know shit about any of that. When I went on that run with the Ranger, I didn't air down. I was just there in 4-low the whole time. And, I mean, I don't care. I got winched for the last part of it, And so now I get to not do that, and I get to drive and take the roof off and take the doors off and do what I want. And I can relate to the wanting to do that. I don't think I've had the the biggest adrenaline rushes that I know that will bring me, but I'm so excited to do it.
Yeah, you just started and you're just scratching the surface right now. There's so much more.
Yeah, and I'm so excited, and I can't wait for all the Ford jokes, and I'm excited for it. I don't give a shit, to be honest. I just am excited to be around the guys that are in these types of things, because I grew up four-wheeling, I grew up dirt biking, I grew up hunting, I grew up shooting targets in the backyard and getting smacked in the mouth with the pellet that just bounced off the metal target because we're not smart enough to realize that that's going to happen.
I've done that.
So yeah, I think that's really cool, and I think that it's awesome. I think that tying it into your family and stuff is somewhere where I want to kind of dive into a little bit, because you have kids. You have Lacey, your wife, and so it's just interesting. You have all these friends, you have all these experiences. You kind of started with this, and then you're in the Navy, then you got a Jeep, and you kind of just kept diving deeper into it, and now you have this monster behind me, and some people might not think it's a monster, I don't know, but it can do some cool shit, and you drive it to work every day. And you drive your kids around, you drive your family around, and I think that's pretty fucking sweet. And I think other people do too, because I mean, you got a good amount of followers, which I didn't realize until recently, and so it's interesting. And so the main question was, why are we here on the side of the mountain? And it's because you found a love for off-roading. And you had a love for like the mechanical side of things, and building and fixing and breaking and fixing and that whole cycle. And so it's really cool, because I learn shit every time that I get to go out, and the walkie-talkies sitting on my dash, and I'm learning shit just driving, you know? And so it's really cool. But what I want to kind of dive into is, we live in a world where it's internet, phone in your face, and we're getting people that are like hunchbacks because of their phone use, like, and there's like medical things that are because of phone use, and it's just nuts. And again, we're sitting on the side of a mountain, and I think that, what do you kind of think of that when you're talking to your kids, and when you're going on these runs? Do you think that maybe that you're doing it for more than just the mechanical side, or maybe you just haven't thought about that? That this is like something that maybe your kids will get into, or maybe it'll just like inspire somebody else to get a Jeep and learn mechanics and do these things instead of...
Yeah. That's the biggest thing, is like, I want people to get out and have a good time. I want them to experience these adventures. So I love taking out new people.
Yeah.
Because they usually have never done something like this.
Yeah.
I've taken people from work or friends, hey, I'm going out in the mountains going off-roading, would you like to go? And usually if they've never been off-roading, when you say off-roading, they're picturing a mud hole, right? Because that's most people's experience off-roading, is they went through a mud hole at one point in their life, right? But I take them out and I go up into these mountains and show them crazy views, or do these crazy obstacles, where they don't think that's even possible for a Jeep to go, right? And to see that, like, that light in their eyes, that excitement, also fear, like the fear, right? I enjoy that, right? And so, yes, like, social media is huge. It's a huge part of what I do. I'm very active on social media. But really, like, I want to just be able to influence somebody, and it's not influence somebody to purchase something, right? That's not my goal.
You don't own a dealership.
I don't, like...
You don't need to sell vehicles.
That's not my goal. I want to positively influence in somebody, either to get them out of their living room, get them away from that phone, right? Get out and go do something, right? Or go learn something. Go have these experiences that I get to have, right? So, or I also like teaching, and I'm very transparent about, because I built my entire Jeep, right, myself. So I'm very transparent when people message me and say, hey, I see that you have this part. What is your opinion? Right? And I will give them my honest opinion, either it's good or bad. Right? Because there's so many fake people online these days.
God, I want to, I'll kind of interject there. the amount of, I've had the Bronco for 6 months maybe, and I haven't done really anything to it besides put the compressor in it.
Yeah.
But the amount of people that are just posting random things, and then I know that it's so tempting because I've had my cart full of shit from multiple places, and then I'm like, I'll shoot you a message, and it's like, please don't do that. Like, because it's you didn't do the research, or maybe, or yeah, do this one, or like think about like, hey, you're gonna buy this bumper, but then you gotta get the lights, you gotta get the winch.
Yeah, there's so much more down the road.
There's a whole world of things, and so the tie between just make it look nice and what you're actually going to be doing it, like what you're using that vehicle for, is something that you've taught me, and so I think I want you to kind of like give that same like advice.
People message me all the time.
Yeah.
Or I'll go to a Jeep show or some event.
Yeah.
And they'll look at my Jeep, or they'll look at, my buddy's Jeeps. Most of my friends have big Jeeps as well, right?
Yeah.
And so they'll be like, I want a Jeep on tons and 40s, tons being the axles that are underneath it.
Yeah.
From a 1-ton truck. I want that, right? Because it looks cool, right?
Yeah.
And it does cool shit.
Yeah.
And I will say no.
Yeah.
And they're very confused that I'm not like,
go for it.
Yeah, do it. Because the financial investment that's involved to get to that point is extensive.
Yeah.
Right? And a lot of these people that are first-time Jeep buyers, owners, right? They're learning to be Jeep enthusiasts.
Yeah.
They want that. They don't know what it takes.
Yeah.
And then some will slide that YOLO card and purchase all the things.
Yeah.
And then realize that they don't actually like it.
Yeah.
Like, because unfortunately in this industry, if you have a big Jeep, they want you to go do big Jeep things.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
Right? And some people are not comfortable doing that.
Yeah.
Right? Or you break something that's expensive.
Yeah.
Right? So they get into it and then realize, I don't like doing this.
Yeah.
But they're never going to get that money back.
Yeah, I mean, they already spent it. They already clicked checkout. Yeah.
Yep. And so I'm like, no, go out and use your Jeep. Go out and wheel it as is.
Yeah.
Right? No matter what it is, if it's camping, if it's, and you also have to figure out what your vehicle's going to be used for. That's going to play a huge part into how you build it. That's
the question you kept telling me. Is like, what do you want?
Yeah, what is the purpose?
Yeah.
Right? Because some people are like, I want to go fast across the desert.
Yeah.
Or sand dunes. I love sand dunes.
Or crawling, or just
or I want to go over rocks, or I want to go camping, or I just like mud, right?
Yeah.
But each one of those is a completely different build style.
Yeah.
And it's going to require different parts.
Yep.
Right? And so I really try to hone that in, make them figure that out for themselves. But I'm like, okay, I want you to go out and do things.
Yeah.
Now, when you finish a trip, at the end of the trip, you always ask, what went well, what didn't go well?
I think it's hard, though. Because you asked me that a couple of times, and it's hard to, I'm like, I don't fucking know. Yeah. Like, it made me nervous to do this. But if I had bigger tires or like something else, how the fuck would I know unless it's there? Yeah. And so I think that's a tough question, and I don't think it's easily answered, especially if you're not mechanically inclined.
I think it's a tough question because you haven't been tested yet.
Could be.
Because the majority of the stuff you've done is just Forest Service roads, right?
Yeah.
And so if you, at the end of it, you're like, man, I don't know what I need to do better, then you don't need to do anything better, right?
Yeah.
So.
But does it take something to break to like know that you need to do something better? Or you're like, fuck, I cannot get out of this spot without a winch? Yeah,
like, you get stuck and you can't recover, and you're like, thank God somebody was there with me.
Well, that's why I don't go.
And you're like, okay, I need a winch. From now on, if I'm going out, I need a winch, right? Or, you go out with your buddies and you're scraping your belly the entire time, and you're just like getting high centered.
Yeah.
Okay, now you needed tires and a lift, right?
Yeah, gotcha.
But doing that post-trip evaluation really identifies what needs to be changed.
Gotcha.
So therefore, you can make an educated decision on what needs to be changed.
Yeah.
And then when you do the change and you see the improvement, you're like, you have that appreciation.
Yeah.
For it, because it's expensive, and
you're not.
Some people will get in, and they're brand new.
Yep.
And they'll go on a stupid Jeep Facebook page.
Oh yeah, no.
And there's so many experts
bam.
on there.
Yeah,
right?
Just buying.
And they'll just go and like, oh, I need all of these things, and they'll purchase all of these things, and then they actually get into it and then realize all the things they purchased are cheap. They're only for looks. They're not functional, right? And it's not what you want.
Yeah.
And so they end up ripping, either, breaking,
Yep.
damaging their Jeep
Yep.
or vehicle. Doesn't have to be a Jeep. And then spending money twice because what they purchased is not the right thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then they have to take it off, repurchase. So I always try to tell people, just, it's okay
to take your time.
Take your time.
And learn
and
figure
that
out
way
and drive
you'll
your vehicle.
appreciate it. Because that was bone stock.
Yeah.
When I bought it, it was the ugliest Jeep. I hate 4-door Jeeps when they're stock.
Yeah.
They're so ugly. They're long, they're low,
Yeah.
tiny tires, right? But like this Jeep has gone through 4 different lift kits.
Yeah.
It's gone, it's had 33s, 35s, 37s, 38s, and 40s for tires on it, right? It's gone through all of these different stages. Is that a lot of money? Absolutely.
Yeah.
Great thing is most of that stuff can be sold again.
Yeah, of course, yeah.
Right? If I had to build another Jeep, right, I would go straight to this. I wouldn't do this. But
but you learned.
But I learned all this stuff, so I'm appreciative of everything I've learned.
Yeah.
And everything that I have on the Jeep now, all those parts have been tested and abused.
Yeah.
And so basically everything on the Jeep is something I stand behind, and it's not someone sending me something.
Yeah.
Hey, can you put this on your vehicle?
And you've never even...
Yeah.
Yeah.
So everything that I run on the vehicle is something that I actually stand behind.
Yeah, that you use.
And I use.
Yeah.
Right, because the Jeep is used.
Yeah.
So.
Yep. No, I definitely understand that. And I think probably a majority of the people that know you off your social media, they might know the stuff that is on your Jeep, but they probably don't know the stuff that we've talked about.
No, they don't.
And I think it's pretty interesting to kind of get you in the spotlight of like talking.
Yeah.
But I think there's something that I kind of want to touch base on. I don't know. I don't know if you're wanting to talk about it or not, but
send it.
The little race idea that you had, I think that's fucking badass. And that hit me out of left field. I wasn't prepared to talk about that at all. But before we get into that, I'll let you kind of like, settle on that. But yeah, like people slide into your DMs, I'm sure a ton. I mean, I'm very new to this side of the internet and social media and stuff, and I get people like reaching out to me for questions, and I'm like, God, you need to get out of my DMs because I don't know anything. Here, go to this guy or go to this guy. And so I'm sure there's plenty of people that have slid into your DMs because I was like, this guy has no idea what the fuck he's talking about. He sent me to you. Like, what are the big questions if you had to narrow it down to like top 3 questions that you get?
Top 3 questions usually deal with choice in parts.
Okay.
People always want to know what fenders I run. It's like one of the most popular questions. And those are MCE Narrows, but it doesn't matter because that company's not making them anymore. They've just kind of gone silent. So that's super unfortunate because I need a new one. So MCE, if you ever watch this, like hit me up. But, the other thing is the ORI struts, which are those black and silver shock looking things.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
You don't see those on this type of rig very often.
Yeah.
You see those more on like competition style buggies where it's only a cage. Like you just see tubing everywhere and tires and they're crawling up a rock wall like that, right?
Yeah.
You typically only see those on that type of rig.
Okay.
And not a big daily driven Jeep.
Yeah.
Right? And so I wasn't the first. Definitely wasn't the first.
Yeah.
But I am one of the few, especially with, putting 12,000 miles on it a year.
Yeah.
For the last 5 years, dailying it on that setup.
Yeah.
People are very curious.
Yeah.
They always ask me, why did you choose it? What pressures, why not coilovers, this, that, and the other. And I will always give them my very honest feedback with it.
Gotcha.
So that, people ask about the tires. I'm on my second set of Nittos, as you can see on the windshield.
All right, wait. I gotta interrupt you here. You know that what am I about to say? You have a giant sticker, and I'll zoom in with one of these cameras to the giant sticker. Maybe I'll just put it in the corner or whatever. But you have a giant sticker across your windshield. So you're sponsored, right?
Negative. Not a single bit. I'm not sponsored on anything on this Jeep.
Okay.
Some people think I'm sponsored.
Yeah.
Because, I run a lot of Evo stuff or, Nittos or whatever, and I'm always posting, nope.
Gotcha. So
someday, hopefully, hopefully they figure out who I am.
We're putting this out into the universe here.
I'm just saying, like,
please.
I am pretty loyal because I'm on my second set.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Second set.
Well, I don't think even if you didn't have the Nitto tires on, it matters. You have the Nitto sticker across your fucking forehead. Basically, you got a face tattoo of the place that you are like wanting to like work with.
Yeah. And yeah, they sent me that in a care package.
Yeah.
And I like to switch up the Jeep every once in a while, like change and whatever. And I was like, why not show my support for that company? Because, that is probably one of the most important parts on this vehicle.
Yeah.
And I made the choice to run them again. Like I put about 35, 40,000 miles in my first set.
Yeah.
And then I bought another set, right, to replace those. I could have gone to any sort of tire company. I could have actually probably reached out to a certain tire company that won't be named, and they probably would have given me a free set of their tires. But yeah, that would have been cool, a free set of 40s.
Yeah, but you want the quality that you work with and that you know.
Exactly. Like, I don't want to sacrifice quality, and I didn't want to be a person, because there are people out there
that just go for the free stuff.
They will go for the free stuff. Yeah. They are not loyalists, and they will just jump brand to brand.
Well, I think that is something that is part of social media, and I think that is something that is what people are going against now. I think it's that there's a wave that is kind of coming across, and I think 2022 and behind, it was like that wave where it's like, I'll take anything for free.
Yeah.
And it wasn't just in the Jeep world or the Bronco world. It's in the whole influencer type of world.
You have all these influencers and ambassadors, and like, this is the greatest thing I've ever seen.
Yeah.
Use my promo code.
Yeah, and then you have all these people that are then doing it, and they're like, this is dog shit.
Yeah.
Like, I bought it, and it's dog shit.
Yeah.
Or maybe it works, whatever, but yeah, it's interesting. So we were talking about, like the off-roading and their top 3 questions, but what I really wanted to dive into and what we kind of talked about for a second was a race team. And so this is very new to me, probably very new to you, probably way too soon to maybe be putting it into the ether. But
well,
fuck it.
It's only gonna bring haters and criticism.
I want to hear it.
So
what is the haters and the criticism? What are those things gonna be talking about?
It's like, you can't be competitive, you can't complete it, like, it's a dumb vehicle choice, it's a dumb engine choice, like, just add, like, you're not gonna succeed, like,
I think,
and that's, and you're dumb for trying.
Yeah.
And I've already heard it.
Yeah.
I heard it from a couple friends recently. We were discussing the races, and it's a very common thing, and I've seen it throughout. So every year I watch King of the Hammers around 1st of February, which is a week-long hardest off-road race.
Yeah, you sent me that video.
Right.
It was the first time I've ever seen it.
Hardest off-road race throughout the year, and what intrigues me about it is like the challenge. It's the journey and the destination, but it's like trying to finish that race, because it's the hardest like race ever, like, would just be a win in itself. Not
you're saying you don't need a place or nothing.
Like I have zero like desire to even place.
Yeah.
Because like for example, the attrition rate this year for this is the King of Kings race, the big Kahuna event.
Yeah.
I think like 88 cars left the starting line and 2 finished.
Dang!
After 14 hours of racing, through the desert and through the rocks.
Yeah.
Right? And that's crazy.
Yeah, that's nuts.
But the footage is so good, the coverage of that, because they have drones in every single canyon and across the desert, and helicopters, and like they have all the things, right? And so you can sit there and watch, and nowadays a lot of these racers are live streaming in the car.
Oh, that's cool.
So they have their own YouTube channel, and you're live streaming, and you're watching them race.
Yeah.
But you can just latch onto these stories of these people and just see the fight.
Yeah.
The fight that they go through to just complete.
Yeah.
multiple rollovers or fires or breakage or flat tires, and just that fight, that persistence, that endurance that they have.
Yeah.
You get to see that.
Yeah.
And it's like, I want to challenge myself.
Yeah.
I want to put myself in the suck and see what happens.
Yeah.
Right? Because I know it's going to suck.
Yeah.
Like, leading up to it's going to suck. The amount of money is going to suck, right? And just the prep work, and, you know, you could get there and in the first mile break and be done for the race, right? But that's the risk.
Part of it. Yeah.
Yeah. But like,
I mean, that's the whole thing with everything, right? Like, sports.
Yeah.
Like the last person that I had on, Nuke. He you know, he got too many concussions, and everything that he worked for up until that point, done in a second.
Yeah.
And so it's like, no, it's totally understandable. And I think a lot of people can relate to that in the sense of like wanting to do something that there's a risk, you know, but like you just want to do it because one, it's fun, and kind of two, to prove yourself. Like just you in general, you're not trying to prove anybody else. You're just trying to prove to yourself like, oh, I can finish this, or I can do it up to this point or whatever. 88 and then 2. Yeah. Like if you could be the third or part of that too, like how fucking badass would that be? That would be sweet.
That'd be crazy.
Yeah.
And
but of course there's going to be haters.
There's always, and the thing is like, you know, because I'm not a shop. Yeah. You know, I'm not a reputable, you know,
company brand. Yeah.
Company brand. I don't have any sponsors.
Yeah. Right.
No one's sponsoring this race car build.
Yeah.
Like it's like, I think of Talladega Nights with the Cougar on the front. It's just me, right? It's just me. But it's something like, and every year I watch, I sit there and I'm like, I want to do this. Yeah. And it's not, I want to do this and I want to win. Yeah. Right. Which is weird because, you know, anytime someone wants to do something, they want to be that guy on top.
They want to be the guy. Yeah.
But like, because this is so naturally challenging and hard. Yeah. It's like, it's almost unfathomable to think about like what the prep that goes into it and the endurance that has to happen to actually complete these races is, you know, it's hard to grasp. Yeah. And so I want to do that. Yeah. Right. And I want, like, and it's going to suck. Yeah. Right. And then there's going to be so many people that don't understand. And there's actually, you know, some of my close friends. Yeah. That aren't going to understand, and they're going to think I'm stupid. Yeah. Right. And it is what it is. But I think I want to do it. Like I want to, and I got it. People will make fun of me, and I'll, you know, if I make it to the course, I'll be the slower one they show doing the, you know, the qualifying lap. Yeah. But you'll be there and you'll be having fun. Yeah. It is what it is. Yeah. I think it's going to take us a couple years. Yeah. But I want to build a team. I want to build a team of like-minded individuals. I have some very close friends that I know that would jump in. Yeah. And just support. But I think if we could get a team together, get a rig together, get a team together, I think we would create some of the longest lasting memories. Yeah. Forever. For sure. Yeah, that'd be awesome. Right. And that's what I look forward to. Yeah. Is like that connection with a core group of people. Yeah. And being able to say, we did this and we accomplished it, or we did this and we failed. Yeah. But like, let's be proud of what we did because we actually got here and attempted it. Right. Yeah. So. Yeah. So this core group of people, you've met them throughout your life, or they've been there for a long time, or you met them through GPing, or it's kind of everything. Like, none of these people are identified. Yeah. I might sign some people up. Yeah, yeah. But you just know they're who they are. Yeah, I've talked to a couple already, and they're down. They're like, yeah, you call me up, like let's do it. Yeah, and then so like, what are you gonna do after? Like, are you guys gonna just do one, and if you fail, you fail, and you're done? Nah, I don't know. You want to just keep going? It kind of, This is just a very new idea. This is the first time I've heard about it. It's super new. So it's like I said, I don't even think we would be ready within a year. Yeah. I'm just being realistic. Yeah. Because I'm very big into like, I need to drive it and put a ton of miles on it. Yeah. Like I got a engine swap that I'm working on right now for that. Yeah. Like, and building a race car is expensive. Yeah. Like there's no cheap race car out there, right? Like even junior dragsters, I think, are expensive. But so ideally would be to get a new vehicle, a brand new one, not brand new, but a different vehicle, strip it all the way down, and then throw all the money and parts into it.
Yeah.
But I just can't do that.
Yeah.
I can't.
Yeah.
Right now I don't have the time or space for it.
Yeah.
Plus it'd be starting over. And I already have so much invested in that, so that'll probably be turned into a race car. Does it make sense? Not really, but people have done it.
Yeah.
And people have been semi-successful.
Yeah.
So whatever, I don't care.
Yeah.
It's just the evolution of that Jeep. But whatever. We'll see what happens. And just go from there.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And then somebody else reached out to me who has the same dream.
Okay.
Another guy in the Navy.
Yeah.
Just reached out to me a couple days ago with the same dream.
No way. That's sweet.
And he wants me to co-drive.
Okay.
So be the navigator, and then be the person that's out of the Jeep more than in the Jeep, because I'm winching, through a trail.
Gotcha. So if you were speaking to people that are, I'm sure that you got plenty of people that are watching this from your side of this, the tracks, they know kind of more what you're talking about.
Yeah.
But for me, and for probably a lot of your followers too, even, they don't have no idea what the hell you're talking about. Like a race car, they're probably thinking like NASCAR, or like, I don't know, like F1 is becoming big. But
So
for you're talking about like this off-roading, like so many like obstacles and things and different terrain and all these things, and you're trying to race, but you're saying that, obviously you're not looking to place or anything, you're just looking to have fun and experience it and to finish, which is a feat in its own and an accomplishment on its own. And you're talking about, you don't, this is so new that you don't really have the people signed up for it really, in the sense of like, you're going to do this as this is my team, this is what we're representing.
No team name yet.
So I'm kind of just spitballing with, I'm more curious than anything. So you're a couple of years from now, but you're saying, so you are getting out of the Navy pretty soon, in the sense of like 4 years. Yeah. So I mean, in the sense of Navy time frame, that's like a contract, So that's pretty soon, and after that, you'll work so that you can support your family and all this stuff. But you want to dive into this route of things. What are you nervous of spending money like that? Are you nervous of going for that venture? What are things? Why now? Why now?
Why now? Because it's like, well, why not?
Yeah.
Right? If I keep just saying every year watching King of the Hammers on YouTube and just like, get all sappy, like hyped, but then also like mopey because like, oh, I'm never going to do this or whatever. Like, I just got to do it. You just have to pull the trigger sometimes and just send it.
Yeah.
Right? So, right now, this is just kind of to dip the toes, to learn some stuff.
Yeah.
We're going to learn a lot of things, right? Learn it from senior people that have been there. It's going to be a full year of hard lessons learned.
Yeah.
Right? But that's expected.
Yeah.
And so maybe, right, eventually, if this does lead to something, like this is the new passion, right, racing, right, then you're like, okay, I want to go full in.
Yeah.
And then you dive into getting an actual built race car that actually makes sense and actually is competitive.
Yeah.
Right, go from there.
Yeah.
I think sometimes people make the mistake of going in like too hard in the beginning.
Gotcha.
And then realize it's not for them, and then they just spent this ridiculous amount of money.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like mountain biking. Like some people I want to get into downhill mountain biking, so they go out and buy a $5,000 mountain bike.
No, I did that.
Yeah.
I literally did that, and then I was like, and then I went on my first ride, and because I hadn't done it before, and I used to ride bikes all the time and dirt bike and all this stuff, but I went to go do it, and I was like, for one, I'm not in shape to do this. Like, two, I just spent this much money on this bike and I can barely do it.
Yeah.
So and it's like, shit.
I'm a big supporter of like, if you want to try something new, cool, but do it in a cheap way. Yeah. So that way, if you find out it's not for you, then you're,
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I had the Canon camera like I've had that for a while. I've done photography for a long time, video. I've dabbled in marketing, media, all the different things, but never. What's the saying?
Jack of all trade, but a master of none, basically.
There you go. Yeah. And so I felt that for a long time in my own life with like photography, because I wasn't a National Geographic photographer, or like the best wedding photographer or something like that. But I enjoy it, and I think I'm pretty good at it.
Yeah.
But it's just a sense of like, then I found myself spending money, and I'm like, all this shit sucks, or this was good, but I didn't need to buy these 10 things.
Yeah, so I think everybody growing up, or they develop hobbies, right? We all get hobbies of this, that, and the other.
Yeah.
Either vehicle related, or fishing, or hunting, or
whatever.
Nunchuck skills, whatever.
Gaming.
Right, gaming, photography or whatever. What I see a lot is people stretch themselves thin.
Yeah.
Because they want to do all these things.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
And then they get stretched themselves thin, and then now they don't have any money, and they can't actually do the things they want to do because
they can't even get gas to go out and do it.
Yeah, and so I realized a long time ago that was like, hey, this off-road, this like Jeep thing, this is what I really want to do. Like, I'm passionate about it.
Yeah.
And so I stripped every hobby away. I don't own a fishing pole.
Yeah.
Like, guns, sure, I have some guns.
Yeah.
Right? But I'm not a person to go buy guns and let money sit in a, gun locker.
Yeah,
right?
No, I get what you're saying, yeah.
So I've removed a lot of hobbies in life so that this hobby right here
can be your one. That you
be
really,
the one,
really
and I put my money into.
Yeah.
So for me, that makes sense. For others, it doesn't.
Yeah.
But
No,
for me, that
so
works.
I think we're close to the end here. I think that to wrap it up, I think that I want you to. You have a lot of you have a good amount of followers on Instagram specifically, and I don't know what the age range is. It ranges, I'm sure, and there's probably so many people that are looking to you and going either, what parts, or should I get into this, or maybe they're just admiring, or maybe they follow you just to send to their buddies and talk shit to.
Yeah.
Who knows?
Yeah.
But if you could give some sort of like advice into the world of Jeeping, what would it be?
I'd say do the research, right? Don't just slide that YOLO card and purchase something. Do the research, ask around, find reputable people. That's why I like Instagram so much, is like you can message somebody on Instagram and most of the time that person will get back to you.
Yeah.
And like, this is not, we're not drag racing, right? So I don't have any secrets.
Yeah.
Right? I don't want to give you my secret, so therefore, you show up at the racetrack and you beat me because I gave you my secret to why my car's fast.
Yeah.
That's what's great about just the off-road community in general, is like they'll tell you, what's what.
Yeah.
Unless they're an influencer, and then you have to, then
there's sponsorships and money and all
right,
these
right. You gotta take that with a
things,
grain of salt. But like I said, do the research, ask around, plan, but then you just gotta do it.
Yeah.
Like, you're always gonna have those naysayers.
Yeah.
And they're not gonna, believe in the process. They're not gonna understand it. They're, and at some point you gotta start living and just do it.
Yeah, I think for me, what I take from this whole conversation is that you can have a career, you can have fun, you can have serious things, you can have a family, you can do all this stuff. But for what you are talking about, it is don't lose your inner child almost. It's like, don't
exactly.
have fun. Make sure that you invest in you and the things that you truly enjoy to do.
Yeah. So something to add to that.
Yeah.
Stress, right? Yeah. Stress is a big thing in part of our lives, right? Stress. And I went through a stressful event right when I was moving from South Carolina. I'm not crying, it's the smoke, trust me. And things were stacking up.
Yeah.
A lot of stress.
Yeah.
So much stress, it caused me to lose my hair.
Oh, shoot.
Right? Alopecia areata, which I didn't know I had. I guess it's hereditary. Like, it's like this like gene, and like it can be kick-started, right?
Yeah,
and so I went through this stressful event. There was multiple things happening.
Yeah.
and I started losing my hair.
Dang.
And then you find out like what it is,
Yeah.
and it's caused by stress.
Yeah.
And you're stressing about stressing.
Yeah.
It only gets worse.
Yeah.
Right. And I had lost, pretty much 90% of all the hair on my head.
Jesus.
Right. And like, luckily the majority of it's all grown back.
Yeah.
But from time to time, I'll get a bald spot here and there. But
yeah.
what a change that I made was like, I can't control everything.
Yeah.
I can only control the things I can control.
Yeah.
But I also don't need to do everything. Like, some people are very hard chargers and they will, they'll do everything to the max.
Yeah.
When I see something, I'm always going to take care of it and get it done the way it needs to be done.
Mm-hmm.
But in certain situations, I'm like, I don't need to do that.
Yeah.
I don't need to put that stress on me.
Yeah. Well, it's going to lead to burnout.
Exactly. Right.
Yeah.
So
and then you can't do anything.
I'm very good at like acknowledging, I guess, burnout or excessive like stress situations, and then being able to like throttle back, because I'm like, it's not worth it.
Yeah.
Like, why would I put myself through that?
Yeah.
And so I can throttle it back a little bit, because it's not it in the end. A lot of it's not worth it.
Yeah. Yeah. I agree. I think there's certain things. I think that ties into like the Navy stuff as well, and I think that it's just really easy to get burnt out, especially if you have a good like head on your shoulders. If you're like thinking like positively and like trying to help people or trying to help yourself and trying to spread like some sort of positive message or whatever, it's super easy to get burnt out, because there is a lot of selfishness and negative, and
you're doing so much for people and you get nothing in return.
You get shit on.
No appreciation. Yeah.
So you got to do it for the right reasons. You got to make sure that you're also taking care of yourself.
Yeah, 100%. Take care of yourself.
100%. Yeah, and I think that we should go on a ride. I have one more thing I want to do. So I don't want to say too much. I'm gonna send you a text, and it's a little message for you. But the reason I couldn't do it up there and I had to do all this drive is because my phone went to SOS mode so soon, and I couldn't download what I wanted.
Go ahead and press play.
Yeah.
Hey babe, it's me. I just wanted to tell you that I love you so much. I'm so happy that we get to do life together. We've built a wonderful life around sacrifices. Moving away from family, the long deployments, before and after kids, and the missed birthdays and holidays. Just being away from your family and the comforts of your home and your precious Jeep for many months. I know it's not easy. I want you to know I see you. I see the sacrifices you made over the years for our family, and I'll be forever grateful. We wouldn't have the life that we have now if it weren't for all that you've done and continue to do for us. When I was recently hospitalized, you had to step up in a whole new way. There haven't been many moments in life where you had to do the parenting thing on your own. That's usually my job. But of course, you amazed me with how well you handled the whole situation. But at the same time, it didn't surprise me. You have a way of handling any challenge calmly, or at least remaining calm on the outside. Your ability to push through tough times has gotten you to where you are in life, and will continue to take you to new places. I can't wait to see you where you go. I may not always do a good job of showing it, but I admire how big you dream. I want nothing more for them to come true. I have no doubts that you can make them happen. Just like wheeling, sometimes it's going to be a slow crawl with multiple attempts before you make it, but I believe you can do it. Dream big or go home, right? I'll be right here by your side, cheering you on. Thank you for the way that you love me, unconditionally, every single day. I know I do not make it easy, but you remain by my side no matter what. And I love you for that. You've always had my back, and I'll always have yours. If I had to go back and choose all over again, through all the moves, the sacrifices, this, that, and the other, I would still choose you every single time. We built something beautiful, and I truly believe the best is yet to come. I love you, babe. Always.
Those types of messages are super hard. They're hard to get to record. I think people are like, we're putting ourselves on camera and like recording and stuff, and like you're looking for something that is like meaningful. So it's tough. I don't know. It's interesting. How do you feel about it?
It means a lot, because that is what is hard, is like when you put a ton into everything.
Yeah.
And then, you know, you apply yourself to so much, or you pour yourself into so much, and then sometimes you don't even see, you know, what you're trying to accomplish. You don't even see the appreciation. You don't even see, you know, the impact that you're making. And so when you're in those moments, it's super hard to like continue to push forward when you're, you know, putting so much into it and you're just not seeing anything from it. So it's really good to hear all of that. And I appreciate her so much for all the sacrifices she's done. Like, yes, I've been in the Navy, you know, 20 years, but like she's been right there by my side going through it all.
Yeah.
You know, multiple deployments where I've been gone, you know, 8 months, 11 months at a time, and she's home, like raising 3 kids and like doing all of the things.
Yeah.
Whereas like my life is easy, where it's just like I wake up and, you know, I tell people what to do and like in that, but she's home, you know, just like me, she's solving problems too every single day.
Yeah.
So I do appreciate the hell out of her. And then, yeah, with her recent hospitalization, which was scary because it seemed like it could be a life or death situation. And so, yeah, it was a pretty scary moment for us. But luckily everything, you know, worked out and we were able to push through.
Yeah.
And so
this segment is like, I'm kind of figuring it out as I go.
Yeah.
To make it special, to make it feel like what I want it to be is to be like a message, like almost like a voicemail that you leave. And like you were just saying, like out of nowhere, things can like turn and like people can get sick or like pass away. Like there's just randomness in life, and sometimes you don't get to really say what you want to say to somebody. And I'm not playing God here or anything, but I would think that it would be very nice to have a message that you can play, or a voicemail. I have a voicemail from my pop-up that I play often, and it gives me like hope and inspiration randomly, and it kind of pushes me forward sometimes. So with that being said, to pull it all together, I know that we're soaking wet, and we're up on a mountain, and now we're looking over fog of a lake, and sitting on soaking wet benches. But what is, and who would you point it towards? Is it your kids, your wife, or maybe your stepdad, or somebody else, or everybody, that in kind of give a message?
I think who I am it's really made up of a lot of people and a lot of different experiences. Like I said, different jobs I've had. You know, I've learned things from my dad. You know, my mom is very resourceful, and she supported us all through school, you know, growing up when we didn't have any money. And like the resourcefulness that she was able to come up with, just to make the situation better or make us happy. And we were always number one priority. Like, you know, I hope that I can, you know, use that, you know, and support my kids and my family. But, you know, my dad, my grandfather, Pa, he's my grandfather that raised me for a portion. His love and care for people, you know, there's no other like him. And then, you know, Lacey and my kids, right? I have so many big hopes for them, and they're doing extremely well. For Jacob, Madison, and Ethan, it's exciting to watch them grow, and exciting to see them to do all these new things. And I pray that they continue to do it, and I pray that, you know, they continue to see these new challenges and experiences, and then they jump into it, and then, you know, figure it out.
Yeah.
Some things are going to work, some things are not going to work. So I'm thankful for everything that I've done. I'm thankful for the people I've met and the people that inspire me, and like you inspire me. So appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you. With all that, I think that's about it. But I do want to kind of give it back to you. I would have been pretty lost without somebody like you on the ship. I got a lot of guys that I looked at for some sort of guidance here or there, or maybe I looked at them for just not being alone in the shit. But you were one of those people that, you know, kind of guided me and helped me. I could bounce ideas off you and have real conversations, and there's not a lot of people out there like you. And so thank you. And I'm excited to see what you do with your race team and with your Jeep, and I'm excited to see if Ethan and those guys jump into Jeeping too. That would be exciting. So
we'll see.
But it was a pleasure.
Yeah, man.
Oh. Let's get out of the fucking rain. My ass is soaked.
Yeah, but it was a good ramble.
Yes, it was.